him to have like a partner in crime, but we can't afford to give him that for at least 4 years.
And is that sad?
I'm sad.
That makes me sad. I mean, I'm like tearing up over here. I mean, that makes me sad. Boy, do they need a good financial planner. All right, and welcome in to another episode of CFP Reacts. I'm your host, Scott Schiller, your certified financial planner, here to react to the best and worst financial planning advice in social media. And I'm so glad that you joined me today. In today's video, we're gonna be breaking down struggling millennial homeowners. I myself am a millennial homeowner. I'm 39. Of course, I know I look much older than that. Please go ahead and put that in the comments. I do not mind at all. So anyway, I wanted to go ahead and put this video together. This is actually from CNN. It's a short video interviewing a couple of different families who have been really struggling in terms of how to handle their debts and how to handle their finances. And so you guys know where I'm gonna go with this right off the bat, which is, you know, I say it till I'm blue in the face, which is please get a financial plan put together. Work with a good certified financial planner. If you don't have one, I'm here for you. But you know, we talk about stress and on a family and bringing that home every day from work. It's too much. It's too much for people. And so it's worth it. It's worth it to talk to somebody, meet with a professional, have them help you. But anyway, let me jump right into it and let's talk about it.
Rach, we have $435 to last us till the end of the month. Okay?
What?
Actually, till February 4th.
That's even worse.
I know.
When we report on how great the economy is doing, what do you feel that?
I don't.
We have, you know, relatively younger couple, looks like a millennial couple here with a young baby, and it looks like they're homeowners, so at least we have a home involved, and there potentially could be some equity there, so they at least have something.
I don't feel it. I don't doubt that it's gotten better, but nothing necessarily feels like it really got easier on us. I don't feel like I'm getting a break anywhere.
The American economy looks strong. A robust job market, stocks near record highs, inflation cooling. But many people are not feeling the positive vibes.
I see $400 going towards my student loans, and I see $545 going for HOA, and I see groceries averaging about $150 a week. Sure, maybe for my wife's retirement portfolio, it might be looking great, but
Well, at least she has a retirement portfolio, so his wife has some retirement money, so that's good news. But yeah, so I just did another video on, you know, baby boomers feel like millennials spend too much, and in that video, I'll put a link for it right here for you. But basically, breaks down the rising cost of housing, and the cost of maintaining and running a house is far greater relative to the rise of wages and income in America. Okay, so it just simply costs more versus how much money the average American takes home to run our house. And so that just right there is going to create a lot of pressure financially on a lot of families out there. Okay, and so from a financial planning standpoint, it's important that we know this. Okay,
we need to get there first, right? On Saturday, we heard how MetLife Stadium is preparing for the World Cup final.
Danny Navarro did not plan to be a TikTok creator.
If FIFA decided to sell tickets,
hey, he's a social media creator. I can relate to that.
2026.
That was not his goal when he graduated with a history degree on a scholarship from the University of Virginia and started working at a nonprofit.
I was at the $60,000 mark of my salary, and the only way that I was going to crack 80, 90 potentially was to get a grad school degree.
Okay, I don't think that that's right. Now, maybe in his, you know, you mentioned earlier in the video that he had worked for a nonprofit, and you know, he sort of felt like, okay, I've hit this income cap of 60,000 and I want to get up to 100 or 80 or 100. You know, it may be a situation where, you know, if it's just something you absolutely love to do, maybe we're there. But there's other jobs. There's other jobs that we can get that pay more with an undergraduate degree. It is possible. And so, you know, what ends up happening here, let's find out.
So Danny went back to school for a master's degree in public administration. This time, he had to take out student loans.
I had to take out $70,000 in loans, which is more than what I was making. And then
$70,000 for a graduate school degree. You know, when you really think about that in terms of after-tax money, how much money we need to earn just to pay for that. We really need to earn about $100,000 to pay for that $70,000 degree, and that could take many years to recoup that. And so that decision, do we take out that student loan or not, it would have to be very, very compelling, and it is a risky decision. Let's just face it. Taking out a student loan to get a graduate degree for potentially higher income has tremendous amounts of risk attached to it, okay? And it's risks that it's really important that we weigh the pros and cons of that decision. Do we do it or do we not? And so we need to have some very serious certainty that that income increase is gonna be there, is gonna be sustainable for us, and so that we can actually see a return on the investment. And forget all the work that it takes to get a graduate degree, all the exams and everything else. It's just the simple cost, just getting our money back.
Right off the bat, having to pay that debt down. And so it's almost like we're basically...
Yeah, you're gonna have to pay all of your debts down, whether it's right off the bat or later. It's best to eventually put ourselves in a position where, if our goal is to reach wealth independence, to have money so that we're in a position where we don't have to work. We get to work and we want to work on things that we want to do versus have to do, and feeling like we're a prisoner to our income. That's what I define as wealth independence. We're not a prisoner to our income. And so the best path towards that is to reduce our debts and to get our balance sheet. And what a balance sheet is we have our assets, let's say on the left-hand column, and then we have our liabilities and our equity on the right-hand column. And so looking at what a balance sheet gives us is the opportunity to have more of our income. Our income is our most powerful wealth building tool. And so having more of our income not going to student loan payments, not going to auto loan payments, not going to credit card payments, but going into places that are going to grow for us long term is the path to wealth independence.
Thrown into the hole, and right away we have to start climbing out of it. Let's see here.
That was 8 years ago. And the promise that his college degrees would lead to a steady paycheck has not paid off.
Remember I mentioned earlier, right? Tremendously risky decision, right? Didn't pay off for this gentleman, unfortunately, okay? And so here he is 8 years later and realizing, man, that graduate degree, I'm not seeing return.
So you're first generation, and what was the dream for you? What was the dream if you went to college?
We would escape poverty. And, for immigrants that are coming to this country, that's always the thing that they tell you.
Danny now juggles 3 jobs: soccer coach, tutor, and TikTok video creator.
I don't have a full-time salary job since
I mean, if he's got a degree from the University of Virginia and a graduate degree, and he has this great work experience, I mean, he should be able to get a pretty good job, I would think, right? And so, I know he's a TikTok creator, which is great. A tutor, I just have a hard time believing he couldn't find something better than that. Now, maybe it's more about flexibility, right? Does he want time or does he want money, right? And so sometimes we have to make that decision, one over the other. And I don't fault anybody for taking the time option. I love spending time with my children. It's part of why I have my business. It's flexible. Now, I work nights, weekends, holidays? Absolutely. But there's also times when I just want to be with my children, and working my previous corporate job, I wasn't able to do that. So having that flexibility is great, but being able to be in a bind financially versus having that stress, I mean, I just have a hard time believing he couldn't find something that pays higher.
November of 2022, and it's not without trying. I've actually applied to about 100 jobs.
100 jobs.
I would say about in the past year and change, and a couple of them have gone into the final round, but just unfortunately not been selected.
You want to look outside? Come here. Look outside. My life is very different than what I envisioned it.
Yeah, and so the fact that he hadn't been selected for those jobs is really the key catalyst for him. He just can get that good job. It seems like he can be on a good path. Sounded like his wife is working, has a retirement plan, so that's good.
Crazy.
Rachel Gambino and Garrett Mazzio followed the roadmap that previous generations said would spell success. Go to college, get married, work hard, buy a house, start a family.
This is the American dream, but at what cost? So we have all of those things and we appreciate every single one of those things, but we think about how we could lose those things very quickly. If one of us loses our job, we're in a not good place.
Between their college debt and monthly mortgage payment, they feel they've slipped into a lower economic class than the one they grew up in.
Do you describe yourself as middle class?
I like to think we are.
I would say lower middle class.
Why?
Because when I think of middle class, I think about people who are able to just get up and go and do things within their means and like not extravagant things, but be able to get up and go to dinner whenever they want, or maybe take that trip, that long weekend trip. We don't have that luxury.
Rachel works at a
And that's a good, and you know what, that's not necessarily a bad thing. You know, they could go on a trip, they could do anything they want. That can be done with the thing of a credit card. A credit card could give them all those things, but sounds like they're making a good decision in not deciding to be the average type of person that's just going to put that trip on the credit card and take it. So that's good news.
Nonprofit, Garrett as an insurance underwriter, but their paychecks barely keep pace with their $3,400 monthly mortgage payment.
Ready?
Keep in mind that $3,400 mortgage payment, a chunk of that is going into principal, is a principal payment on the mortgage. And so that's a real estate investment. That's money going into their house, right? So they're investing. And like our parents in previous generations, that was a huge pathway to wealth, was through the house. You know, the rise of the cost of housing has been so substantial. You know, a quick stat for us, since 1980 to 2020, the rise of cost of housing has gone up by 400%, whereas the rise of cost of wages has only gone up about 90%. Okay, so 400 versus 90, and so that's why we're feeling this squeeze.
Rachel's 26-year-old sister, Kristen, moved in to help offset costs for all of them.
So all of this is affecting your family planning?
You know, once we started getting daycare costs, it was like, we cannot afford to have another child until he's in a public school system. I'd love for him to have like a partner in crime, but we can't afford to give him that for at least 4 years.
And is that sad?
I'm sad.
It makes me sad. I mean, I'm like tearing up over here. I mean, that makes me sad. Boy, do they need a good financial planner. Just golly, they should get in touch with me and so we can put together a plan. I love doing this kind of stuff, and this is what makes me passionate about what I'm doing here, is helping them put together a plan so that they can grow their family and not feel like they're being totally squeezed out. You know, it is possible. And so anyway, this is interesting.
Like our family is dictated by our financials, and yeah, I just never thought it would be that way.
Buddy.
So what would they do differently if they could do it all over again? Avoid student debt, even if that means rethinking college.
Go to college, get out of.
Okay, one note on avoiding student debt. You know, a lot of people get put in the position where they just can't avoid it. And, you know, for the parents out there, if you're having a child, if you're going to have a child, please put together an investment for the future, for their college education. The cost of education is substantial, and it is something that should really be a financial priority. If you want to have the future generations of your family prosper, it is not have to be in a position where they feel like they have to take a student loan. Having some money put aside in either a 529 plan or some other investment strategy where there can be growth long term, we can take advantage of time. Somebody's born, we're not going to need that money for another 18 years. We can really use that to build up some money so that we have it for the future. And then that way your child won't be in a position where they have to take a student loan, or if they do, it'll be smaller, or maybe a part-time job during college could potentially cover the cost if we're also getting payments off of a 529. Also, you know, mentioned to the gentleman went to the University of Virginia. University of Virginia is probably the top public school in the country. I mean, they can charge whatever they want. There's other really, really great schools that don't cost nearly as much, so keep that in mind.
Poverty, you know, the money will come. It's not as that simple, right? Would I been in a better economic position not taking in the graduate student loan debt? Yeah, probably.
I think this idea of going to college is something that I don't know if Miles will do, and we have decided we're not going to push him there either. I think a lot of millennials were forced into saying like, you need a 4-year degree in order to be successful. And it's like, I have a communications degree and I definitely did not need that to be successful. And so I think like it starts with when you turn 18, you're already put into a disadvantage. And I think we need to like change that mindset.
And I think they can change it right there. I mean, you know, again, yeah, and I agree. Us millennials, you know, we did feel a lot of pressure to get that 4-year degree. I think a 4-year degree is awesome. I mean, it opens up a lot of doors, but is it the one all be all? Certainly not. But man, you know, let's put together a plan so that we can put some money away for college education.
For the next generation.
Did I go to college to go do TikTok videos? No. But is that the one place right now where I can make, you know, money?
It's not the only place.
Potentially. So let me go make my TikTok videos while I'm at it. And
yeah, and you may be very good at it, but that is not the only place to make money, guys. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and it was fun for me to put together. And please like and subscribe, and in the comments below, let me know of any other video. Let me know what you think of this. If you're feeling squeezed, if you're feeling like you can't make ends meet, or if you feel like the total other way, that they should be doing better. Let me know what you think. And also let me know if there's any other videos that you'd like me to react to, and I will work to get the job done for you. And also I will say, please visit my website, schillerwealth.com, if you want to set up a meeting with me. All right, my friends, stay awesome, stay healthy, and I will see you in the next video.